talking about mass and niche markets, and this slide, PowerPoint, is by Sam, Gabby, Sophie and Izzy.
What we're talking about is going to cover P5, P6, M3 and D2.
Our chosen mass market retailer is Primark.
Our niche market is TOCA.
I'm going to be doing D2, evaluate the effect image of the success of a fashion retailer.
I'm doing N2, which is analysing how a fashion retailer develops an image that is, I can't even read my right, in target markets and their product range.
I'll be doing P5, which is explain how the image of the chosen fashion retailer meets the needs of its target market.
I'll be doing P6, which is describe the differences in the characteristics of a niche fashion retailer with those of a mass market retailer.
As I said, our mass market retailer is Primark. The definition of a mass market is the market for goods that are produced in large quantities. Primark was founded in 1969 and opened originally under the name Pennies, and it's a huge retail chain store with over 270 stores, just across the UK really.
The target market for Primark. Primark has a very different target market, and it's for people of all ages with small budgets and less disposable income, perhaps students or very big families. It is tailored towards people who like to follow trend without spending a lot. In the last decade, Primark's target market has stuck because of the economy. The fact that people lost their jobs and had less money meant that Primark's popularity went higher as the recession got worse.
Ensuring they have clothes for both genders in all stores. Consistency will help retain their target market by meeting their target's expectations. They have an extensive product range which is regularly updated. That extensive range is what makes them a mass market retailer. Keeping up their retail image of having the most up-to-date styles and trends in the store as quickly as possible. This will help meet the needs of their target markets who are fashionable and want to keep up to date with trends for a low price. There's little customer service as they don't approach you, but they're about if you require help. But they have little knowledge and training about the products. They keep the prices low as their target market for people with a low budget, knowing that they can always get things for a low price.
Primark is a mass market because it offers products and services which are likely to appeal to the majority of consumers. They have no music in store because of the large age range within their target market, and it may not suit everyone. The lighting is very bright and the prices are cheap. The visual merchandising in Primark is simple, and their clothing is on their mannequins, their own clothes on their mannequins. This is so you can picture yourself in the clothes you can see them in, and do not need personal help in putting an outfit together. There's little atmosphere because the lighting and music combination leaves the customer to get on. Buying habits may include people buying more items from Primark as it is cheap and almost disposable. As it is cheap, people are more likely to come regularly as the quality is not as good as something more expensive, so they will need more items.
Primark's image has changed over the years as they've had issues with their image and their ethical issues because they were accused of their working conditions being slave labour and poor conditions with no breaks and just unfair treating of their employees that are making the clothes. They did this so the clothes could be so cheap, but obviously it's not a very good image for Primark to have, is knowing that you're supporting that sweatshop. People are less likely to buy them and support the bad conditions of the clothes. But after this, Primark upped their game and promised that they'd improved, and they're committed to making working conditions safe for their employers. However, Primark has evolved and their image has been successful, which is shown on the success of the brand. They just improved their working conditions, so it makes the public feel more comfortable shopping with them.
As our mass market is Primark, our chosen niche market shop is a bridal shop in Canterbury called TOCA. It fits into the niche market because they concentrate their marketing efforts on a small segment of the population, and the business offers a specific product or service tailored to a small amount of people with specific wants and needs. The occasion wear is women only, and this is a luxury store which is highly specialised in wedding dresses and designer wedding dresses.
target market of this bridal shop is brides or bridesmaids. The shop is women only, they don't have any type of garment suited for men. The shop is very luxurious and is by appointment only, so you cannot just walk in and look, you must ring the doorbell to enter. The owner described the shop as high-end and exclusive. To suit the target market, there are only wedding or bridesmaid dresses and accessories. The image is very luxurious and they want to offer a special experience. They stock designer dresses, specifically Jennifer Packman, and women come from all over the country to the shop because the service and products they offer are exclusive and high-end. The stock is changed yearly, however popular dresses will stay in stock. They offer their clients refreshments and make sure that they remember things such as their fiance's name to make the experience extremely personal. If a woman purchases a dress, they will be given a glass of champagne to toast. They play music like jazz and classical to give a relaxed atmosphere, but they play it quietly so it's soft and not distracting. The lighting is soft and the decor is black and white with chandeliers to support the luxurious image. Prices range from £1,200 to £4,000 for the dresses and £65 to £500 for accessories. The customers are paying for the designer label and experience. The shop doesn't tend to market itself in any other way than word of mouth, so it is important that their service is of highest quality. However, they do feature full-page adverts in leading bridal magazines, and when the shop first opened, they attended local wedding fairs to let people know who they are and where they are, and gain the customer base. Their unique selling point is the consultations they offer before the women even try on a dress and the personal experience the customers receive. They also have a shop in Wimbledon.
CO Cap varies from the retail service offer that Primark presents. In store, it's clear to see that a lot of time and effort has been put into creating a customer experience and a personal experience, almost as if it was tailored to them. The store has an open layout with elegant, decorative and relaxing warm tones. The music in CO Cap is relaxing and makes customers feel like they are being well looked after for their needs. The quality of the stores and their garments are completely the opposite from Primark's mass market production, cheap prices and less good quality, to the luxury designer rare items of a high price for the wedding dresses.
As the bridal shop is a niche market, it's important that their image is correct to suit their customers and their target market. In the beginning, they would attend wedding fairs and markets to understand what the general consensus was for brides. They'd also have a look for what would stand out, which is also part of their niche market, by trying to stand out. Wedding fairs are very competitive, so it's important that the retailer protects their customer image to ensure that their customers get the right feel and impression of CO Cap. In the beginning, wedding fairs were all they had to work off, but as their customer base grew, they understand that they have to get the designer dresses to match their name, and people found out about them through word of mouth, and that's how their customers' expectations grew of them, from their word of mouth and them giving an exclusive experience to all their customers. Product development was important to them because in the beginning affording such designer dresses would have been difficult because of the expense and the exclusivity of them. So it took a lot of time to work out what their customers would be wanting, and as the business became more established, it enabled them to buy more and better dresses and better quality, such as Jennifer Packman. They developed their product range for their target market by adding bridesmaid stuff and accessories, as well as just the wedding dresses. Their customer service when buying the products is their main selling point, because their expertise advice was what the brides looked for as a sort of comfort for them. Their best form of marketing was word of mouth for them.
As the economy was in recession period, people chose Primark because it was cheaper. We feel that the image of Primark was a role which has had an effect on the success of Primark. The way that the business markets their images is one of the most vital aspects of the business in Pride, because their image is how customers would like to perceive themselves. When you take Primark in recent years, it has worked very hard on their image as a fashion retailer and to mainly keep the trendy look. Since they opened the company, it has always had the unique selling point of being one of the cheapest places to buy fashionable clothing. Since the growth and expansion of the company, it's important that they keep up with public demands and increasing numbers of garments. There have been lots of articles and reports about the ethics behind Primark's cheap clothing. One of their sweatshops collapsing and having thousands of underpaid and overworked workers, plus personal labels being found in as a cry for help in some women's clothing. It made people question the ethics behind the cheap clothing. Primark have very strict brand standards so that they maintain their image, so that they correspond in each store. They have the same decor inside each store, which are all the same lighting fittings, and no store has any music. Although when you identify the quality of the ethics, which has much controversy surrounding it, the easy and convenient experience that they try and create is counteracted by the fact that they have child labour issues to keep up with the ever-growing demand of their mass market stores. The store has a target market from babies through to pensioners, meaning their product range is extensive, with massive products that have to be shipped to stores weekly to make their fashion looks very disposable. When assessing their image, this means that their unique selling point and brand does not match the feel of their shops. The slim mannequins are always dressed up in the windows and on the platforms within the store, but when you look at the normal catwalk, what the normal catwalk represents, you can see that they are not compatible with their characteristics. The catwalk is normally very expensive, one-of-a-kind garments by designers, whereas Primark is quite the opposite, meaning that the image that they are trying to portray counteracts what they actually stand for. If you were to buy something from a designer, the service offer and customer service is exceptional, but they do not offer that in Primark. Since recent events surrounding their ethics, they have their own section on the website to reassure customers that they are doing a fair and just method of supplying customers with easy fashion. Tia portraying their image on how their customers would expect to look on their own wedding day. However, when you look at them, the bridal gown company, it is important for them to maintain their image because essentially they have customers once and only once, and they should, in theory, not return. Brides and bridesmaids have very specific ideas on how they want to look on their wedding day, which means that the bridal shop have to portray their image on how they think their target market, the brides and bridesmaids, would want their own image to be. Tia are obviously extremely more expensive than Primark, and this means that they have to have their characteristics to match this. The store is very well dressed and presented, so that their care has been taken not only in the garments but in the whole store. Seeing as the price is so high for the dresses that they sell, they have to make the customer service experience exceptionally high also. The customer is spending time and money making their experience of dress shopping, so bridal shops have to make it feel special. The music they play matches their image because it gives off a classy feel to make the customers feel that they are receiving the most expensive treatment for the prices that they are going to pay. They do not have to do any of the searching themselves, it is all done for them, which is a complete difference to Primark. The service is exceptionally higher. The image of the business has to have the first good impression so that they can retain the customer because the competition is high. The expensive image they have created is successful because the brides get the impression that they're getting the whole experience and not just the dress, which is important simply because it makes the business a success. The main point is that the image should reflect the tastes of the customers, which it has proven it does. The only downside is that the customers may feel alienated if they are normally not used to spending this amount of money, and this is new to them. The image has a very small target market and some potential customers may feel turned away because of this. They want to appeal to the people that will pay the higher end price, but not repel people that have saved for their wedding dress. This could be solved simply by the service skills whoever is so new, and they can assess their customer